Hey, welcome back to Afternoon Woodworks. From the road, not in my shop. I'm actually traveling on business in a hotel room, killing some time. And I was looking at my YouTube statistics. And by far, the most controversial video that I ever did with the biggest engagement, which is really what you're trying to do if you're really into YouTube, is a video called SawStop Contractor Pros and Cons. And I've gotten almost 32,000 views on this. But more importantly, I have 57 comments. And as these comments flowed in over the last year since I've done this, maybe 15 months, sometimes I was a little taken aback. I wasn't used to the pointedness in the interwebs, in the internet. Things such as, this was only 4 days ago. Wow, would you like a little cheese with that wine? And the word wine does show up a couple times in the comments. Another one says, hey, can't say I enjoyed your presentation. At 5 minutes, I was ready to click off, but I stayed to 15, but I can't handle it. I'm done, basically, is what this person was saying. And more wine, and this guy seems whiny AF. I don't know what AF means. Maybe I'm not cool. That was 2 months ago. But my point is, I got a lot of heat on this one. Okay? And I'm going to say it now. You guys were right. I went back and watched that video. I watched it a couple times, and although it still rustles up some emotions because there are some annoyances with the saw, I will tell you what I still will stick to, and then I will tell you how it's performed over the last 15 months. Let's start there. Over the last 15 months, obviously, the table saw is a mainstay of any workshop, and the saw has performed flawlessly. It's only I think it's 1.5 horsepower. It's off it's traditional 110 or 120 volt, and it just performs flawlessly. I know I do think part of it is the saw blade. I personally upgraded to the Forest Woodworker 2, and that's just a great saw blade. So, cutting certainly walnut and cherry is no issue, but even hard maple, wenge, I have not had an issue where it's bogged down. It's really performed well, and the fence is true. Never had any kind of issues with that. It just seamlessly locks down parallel to the saw blade. So from that standpoint, just using it day in, day out, week out, I guess would be a better term, as a hobbyist, it performs. There's never any drama with it. I don't trip a breaker or bog down. It doesn't overheat. It works really well. So kudos as it relates to the performance and quality of the SawStop. Obviously, I'm not even mentioning the biggest feature, and that's the safety feature, which I've never tripped the brake. And I've really tried to purposefully not get nonchalant or absent-mindedness around that saw, even though it's got this nice safety feature. So I respect it. I haven't tripped it, knock on wood, that I never have an issue, but there's a nice little peace of mind that technology is there. So I would buy this saw again for as expensive as it was. I wish this technology was in all saws, and I believe the quality of the saw is in many saws. A lot of people have Powermatics, et cetera, et cetera. I have some Festool products. I think there's high quality in that. And I just really have liked the ability to graduate up to tools of a higher quality. So SawStop is, of course, right there. Now, the things that I think have a little validity in my comments, I don't think the dust collection is spectacular. I talked about how I monkeyed with it and kind of re-engineered it, and it works better. But I don't know if that's SawStop. I think it's pretty much every saw. Festool at the sander standpoint, the routers, I think they do an exceptional job of dust collection. The Capex is so-so. And the table saw is very similar to a miter saw. It's so-so. Okay, so dust collection could always be improved. But that's, I think, with many, many table saws. The complaints that I had that were the next category, I say complaints that probably weren't warranted, but you can learn from. Okay, when you're putting the saw together, I complain that when you put the legs together, that the holes do not line up, that they're more elongated. True. Okay, a lot of people say whine. Just take the time before you put the motor box on to drill those out. Don't let what I experience be your experience, that you sit there and fiddle with that to try to get that bolt there. Just take the time, drill it out. You're never going to see those holes again. Fixed, okay? Then you won't experience the frustration that I had. The accessory costs, it is what it is. I think SawStop could have packaged some of those parts better together. So I still think that's somewhat of a warranted complaint. I do feel like, oh, you need another part. Oh, you need another part. Okay, fine, right? That money is spent. It's gone. I've moved on. No big deal. Couple of the complaint, or at least one complaint that is just invalid, was the fact of the table height, how it didn't line up to the MFT table. That's irrelevant. I get it. I concede that whine was flat out wrong. Okay? So I guess in summary, I appreciate everybody's engagement because again, 57 comments, 32,000 views. And this is for a guy that I'm not really in it to get the views. I'm not trying to drive free product or sponsorships. I just like to, one, I like to woodwork. And two, I think being in front of the camera refines your communication skills. And this is a good mechanism for me. In my day job, I talk a lot. So it just gets me a little bit more comfortable in a public speaking forum, etc., and working on my communication skills. So with that being said, I had tremendous engagement and I appreciate that. I hope you take what you can from this review. And if you're interested in a contractor version of SawStop, I'd say pull the trigger, okay? Learn from what I expressed in here, the little tidbits. And then most importantly, I hope that this video inspires you to get out in your workshop and build something. Have a great day.